Good morning, this is Leanne, and I thought I'd do a quick get ready with me. If you hear my dog barking in the background, just ignore. He's an idiot sometimes. So I'm gonna start. I haven't cleansed my face yet, but one of the things that I start with every morning is I use this Embryolisse micellar. And I use this rather than scrubbing my face because it just takes off anything that's left over, residue from the night before. It does it without making my face super red. I have very sensitive, and as you can see, a lot of red in my face already. So if I take the time to do a full facial cleanse, then I'm wasting my time trying to put makeup on top of it because it will be hours before it calms down. So just overnight, you can see I got a lot of residual. It could be from my pillowcase, it could be from just the air. But I just want to make sure that I get a good clean surface before I do my skincare. So the next thing I use is, I've gotten really attached to this Glow Recipes Watermelon Glow. It is a thick toner. I wish I could show you just how thick it is, but it feels amazing on my skin. And I have a lot of texture, large pores, and this just helps shut that down. It feels good, it's moisturizing. A lot of younger women like to use it, but I'm not crazy about whether it's for women. I'm crazy about if it works for me. So Embryolisse has changed their packaging to this cream color from this white color and changed their logo up somewhat. Now it has this little half moon at the top. I'm going to use all three of these. I'm lazy. I'm going to put them all on at the same time, and that may not be the best way to handle this, but I always start with the Cicalis cream, and this has a little bit of the tiger grass in it. This says it is a soothing, repairing cream, face, lips, hands, body. It has 3 vegetable butters. It's fragrance free. It also has hyaluronic acid in it, along with lots of vitamins. So one of the things that I do is I take just a small dab, not a lot, and I'm going to use this with my Hydra Cream La Orange that has vitamin C and vitamin E and B in it. So it's also full of lots of good rich emollients. And again, I'm just taking a little bit. I don't know if you can see. I am going to put all of these on together, and I'm going to finalize this. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing this properly, but Lait Cream Concentrate. This is a French brand, but it's also sold here in the US. So it's easily found. I actually keep mine on a, there's all 3 together. So now I'm just going to rub them all together. I keep mine on a subscription basis with Amazon so that every 2 to 3 months I get them replaced because, as you can see, I use them quite often. So I'm just going to smooth this all over, and I want to make sure I take it down my neck. It absorbs so quickly. That Lait Cream is something that I also have seen a lot of makeup artists use, as well as younger women, because it's not a heavy moisturizer, but it moisturizes so well. And it acts as an incredible base and primer. So I don't even use a primer anymore. Why waste my money on something that I probably wouldn't use and don't need? Okay, so I'm gonna pause this for a minute, and I let these soak in and absorb into my skin really well before I actually apply any makeup on top of it. So see you back in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been, I looked at the clock, right at 5 minutes. I've brushed my teeth, brushed out my hair, did a couple errands in the kitchen, and now I'm back to actually put my makeup on. Before I do that, I always do just a little bit of a feel, make sure that I can feel I have product on my skin, but it's absorbed enough that I feel confident that it's going to act as a primer. It doesn't have a whole lot of tackiness to it, but it does have somewhat. and that is that Lake Cream. My favorite, I have two favorites, but this is one of my favorites, and it's the Merit, and this is Dune, which I had it color matched. Did you know that you can go to Sephora and that they actually do a color match for you? They'll do it on your skin and under your jaw. They have a little machine, and I love that. So I've striped my face. I look like I'm going into battle. And my new favorite blending brush is this little brush. It does such a wonderful job. I'm not going to use a whole lot of makeup, but I do want to cover somewhat as much of the red on my face as I can. I'll be touching it up some more later this evening before we go out. I'm watching my 2-year-old grandson today, and oh my gosh, I love my grandkids. I have 5, and they are absolutely the joy of my life. I love getting to watch them. So this smooths out across my face fairly well, but I can already see that I'm going to need to add just a little bit more on my cheeks because that's where the redness bothers me the most. So I usually do little circles. And this time, instead of rubbing it with the other one, I'm going to use this, I think it's called a Doe Fit. I may be wrong on the name of that. But all I'm going to do is just blot it into my skin there now. And actually, I'm going to blot all over my face because what that does is it presses that makeup into my skin and gives it just a little bit more of a skin-like texture and less of a powdery texture, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I don't like looking like I have a ton of makeup on my face, but yet I want the coverage. So yeah, I do this just to press it in all over my face to give me that, like I say, more of a skin-like texture. I'm just pouncing it, dabbing it. I don't know what the proper term is for this. Years and years ago, I was a hairdresser and cosmetologist to where I did makeup for people. I did their hair, I did their nails, all of that. So, okay. Like I say, I'm only going to be watching my 2-year-old grandson today, so I'm not going all out on makeup. Another thing that I enjoy is this Merit Blush Balm. And it doesn't take a lot. A couple of swipes on my cheekbones, and I try to keep it high. And I use another blending brush, and I just dab that in. Now, because my skin is so sensitive, at first, before I'm through, it's going to look like I have put way too much blush on. But I know my face, and I know it's going to sink into my face, and it won't be long until it just looks more natural. So I'm just going to continue dabbing this and blending it out. Notice I'm not dragging anything. I'm blending it and tapping it into my skin so that it becomes more of a skin-like color and texture. And again, I know I'm tapping and making it redder, so I'm going to stop. And I'm going to move on while that's lightening back up to normal. And I'm going to use this. Let me turn it this way. Hopefully that's not backwards for you. It's the Palladio Pink Stain. I know we're moving into fall. I haven't purchased their nude one yet, but I will. I'm just going to outline my lips with this stain. It's hard to talk while I'm doing this, sorry. I do overline a little bit, but as you can see, I have very little pigments left in my skin of my lips. So I'm going to let that dry down, and while that's drying down, I'm going to take, let's see if I can get this in the right frame, this Benefit Cosmetics eyebrow brush, and it is in number 2. I don't have much of brows, and what I have going on up here right now is leftover from a gel that I used earlier in the week that I like, but it does make it dark, and my husband always comments that it's too dark. So I am just trying to fill in all the little holes. I have a horrible scar on that brow, so that makes it just a little bit weird. I always come back in because I personally, on myself, I'm 61 years old. I don't need to look like I have perfect brows. Clean up with my finger. I just want it to look like I have some colors, because for me, my brow is what actually frames the top half of my face. That's what you want it to show up for. So next I'm going to use a product that I have learned to love, and this is the Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon. And it literally is like a crayon. But this stuff, once you put it on, now it does come off on, like when I'm drinking my water out of my big tumbler, it will have a ring around the straw. And throughout the day, by the end of the day, most of it will be gone, which is why I said I'll be touching up before I leave for my oldest grandson's baseball game. But for doing some kisses and snuggles with the 2-year-old grandson today, since he's not in school like his older brothers are, we get lots of snuggles in. I'm going to finish this all up by taking just a spoolie, and I want to brush through my lash extensions. I do my extensions myself, so I just do enough so that it fluffs them back out. And the reason why I do this is it's way faster than trying to do mascara, and I spent a few years getting lash extensions done by a professional, and so my own lashes haven't truly recovered enough to show when I use mascara. I've tried. And this is just so much easier. I put them on once a week and they last for at least 7 days. If I keep putting enough product on the bonder, if I keep putting that on, they'll last up to 10. But after 7 days, I'm ready to pull them off, get my lashes and my eyes a really good bath, and then put them back on with sometimes new. Sometimes I'll clean these and reuse them after they've dried. But said all that to say I'm done. Hope y'all have a wonderful Tuesday. I'm going to have a great time with my little 2-year-old grandson all day today. See you soon.